Hi there, I'm your host Corinne, and this is Okay But Are You Good? Where we check in on ourselves on a weekly basis to see how we're doing. Are we living our best lives, or are we just trying to survive out there? Let me tell ya, last week I was definitely on that survival train, and this week I'm definitely enjoying the ride a little bit more. If you know, you know. I feel like I really was in a rut and I got myself out of it. And you're going to ask yourself, how'd you do that? Well, I did kind of explain it last week, but now we're on the other side of it. And it's about learning how not everything's going to be perfect and learning to shift your mindset and remind yourself that there's a lot of negative, but there's also a lot of positives, and to focus more on those positives. So if you're like me and you love riding on that negativity train, especially once you get going, you can't stop. You feel like the world is falling on your shoulders. You can't breathe. Your mind has you overthinking a bunch of things. Kudos to those people that don't know what this feels like, but it's once you get spiraling, it's so hard. But I've worked so hard in therapy and just being more self-aware and reminding myself that like this feeling is temporary and you will get out of it. Things will feel smooth again. And like I was in such a funk last week and I forced myself to get out of it. And like I feel so great. I'm like so proud of myself. And if you're still in that funk and you haven't gone out of it, that's okay. You still have time. And I'm going to talk about how I've gotten out of it and like how I recognize that like just small changes I've done between last week and this week really like upped my mood and reminded myself like I'm so grateful for everything that I have. So how did I get out of it? Well, I got back into my routine I love, going to my job and going to work out. I hadn't worked out and gone to the gym in like 3 weeks. And that is a very long time for me. I'm not a big gym person or workout person, but I like to get some movement in. And I worked out like 5 times this week, which was amazing. I feel good. It's my mom, like I played volleyball for 6 years. I was never going to go pro, but sometimes you just do things for fun. And we played club volleyball and it was like insane hours and everything just to do it for fun. But the point of the story is my mom always said, you're in such a better mood after you work out. And it's like, who would have thought getting some movement in affects your mental health? It's really not rocket science. So get some movement in, go for a walk, just do something. And trust me, it helps so much. It's not just for physical, it's really for your mental to get out. And it's about just building up that momentum of like, okay, like you can do this. Just take that first step and the rest will come easily for you. And like, I pushed myself to do that because at the end of the day, you are your own puppet master. You are in charge of yourself. So you really need to just get up and get going. So how do you shift to the positive mindset? You need to train your brain to think, what if it all works out versus what if this happens? What if this goes wrong? What if they hate me? Are they mad at me? Oh, they have to hate me. No. You got to tell yourself, what if this works out? What if everyone isn't thinking about me all the time like I think they are? Because I promise you, they are not. No one else is thinking about anything or whatever you're doing, because they're all focused on themselves, which is what you should be doing. What if this is just temporary and you're going to be so happy like how I am right now, just from getting back in my routine? And that gratitude journal, trust me, it's 2 minutes, maybe 3 out of your morning and then 2 at night. If you got the 5-minute journal that everyone has on Amazon, it really it works. Sometimes I don't do it every day. I really want to, but it's when you do it, you're just like, yeah, you know what? I'm kind of planning out my day in the sense of how I want it to look and how positive it's going to be because I'm focusing on what I have and what I'm grateful for. Because a lot of the times we just wake up and go, but this helps you like center yourself for the day and start off on that positive note. And what did I do this week? I started writing back in my journal. It's crazy. These things that everyone keeps telling us to do actually works. Like, oh, go for a walk, get some movement in, write stuff down that you're grateful for, or like how you want your day to look. It's wild that these two simple things really, really matter and really do make the difference. So you got to focus on the small wins that you have. And my wins this week was going back to the gym. I cleaned every night before I went to bed, and it makes such a difference waking up and your house is clean. And it doesn't even take that long, but when you're so tired, it's hard. But I pushed myself, and it made such a mental difference. Just like waking up to a clean house and writing back in my journal. I did everything that I normally love to do for my physical and mental health that I wasn't really doing for almost a month because I just didn't have the time. I was exhausted, and it really affected me last week. And I feel like in the past I would have sat in that way longer. But because of all the work I've been putting in for myself, I was able to get out of it and change that mind shift that everything is okay. No one's mad at you. No one's thinking about you. It's not rocket science. I'm not performing brain surgery at work. I'm on my little computer doing my thing. So I'm here to tell you it does get better. You can shift your mindset to focus more on the positives and get out of that spiral that nothing's going to work out. Everything sucks. I'm never going to feel happy again. You can get out of that. It's possible. Everyone does it every day. And if you need more time, that's okay. This has taken me years to get here. I think people can describe me in a lot of great ways, but being the most positive person all the time, every day is not what would be high on their list, but I'm working on it. That's all you can really ask, is just to keep working on being your better self. Because if you don't work on it, you're never going to change, baby. That's show business. This start of this year started pretty crazy for me. I had some neighbor drama happen, and I was like, I'm never going to get out of this. This is out of my control. I'm just going to have to be miserable and just accept that this is my reality because I can't do anything about it. And it took months, but we got to a good space where things calmed down and everyone was safe and happy. I really thought it was the end. I was like, you're going to have to move. You can't live in your house. And it's so crazy because I did everything that I could to feel safe in my own home again. And I had a lot of support from my loved ones. And like this week, we just got the news that like it's going to even get better, that this chaos isn't going to be in the neighborhood anymore. And if you told me that back in January, I never would have believed you. It's always somehow worked out though. But you forget that when you're in that funk and that dark black hole, and your mind keeps telling you like, this is it. This is how the rest of your life is going to be. You're just going to be sad, miserable, overthinking everything always. But I always did get out of it, and I came out better at the end of it, and things just worked out. I feel like if you focus on what you can control, and again, I'm still learning fully what the heck that means. And like every situation, there's sometimes it's very obvious what you can control, which is just yourself, but you can't control what other people do. Even though we always want to do that, you can't. So what you can control is changing your mindset to being more positive, to focus on like things always do work out for me. You manifest it and good things happen. Our brains are trained for survival, not for positivity and joy. You have to choose to be positive. And I've really focused on that. What you do have going for your life, even if it's the smallest thing, just take it day by day and like think about, okay, what went great today? Not what went wrong. You know, when everyone asks you, how are you? How was your day? And we always just say that general good. You're actually going to mean it when people ask you, I'm great. I'm good. It's so easy to remind yourself what you have going for you. And it takes less time because that dark cloud can consume you when you spiral and you overthink. And trust me, I can't be the only one out there that feels like this or has their moments like this. Like, you're not alone. So that's why it's so amazing to be on this path that I can switch things around, as I can get really deep into that dark hole, but I can switch it around just as fast. And it's rainbows and butterflies, you know? To wrap up this episode, I want you to remind yourself that things will work out, because they somehow always find a way to work themselves out. To write down or voice memo, whatever's more convenient, 1 to 3 things that have worked out every day. I'm going to be here next week, so please tune in and remember to like and subscribe, and have a great week and stay positive, loves. Bye, thank you.